everyone. How's everyone doing? Celine, Teresa, Taryn, Nancy, Kathy, how's everyone doing? Just me, all by my lonesome. Chris is gone until Thursday night. She's in North Carolina, visiting her daughter and her grandson. Hello, Rachel, Veronica, Lewis, John McGinnis, Kathy. Yeah, Deb, John's home alone, all by myself. So, interesting stuff going on, huh? Big earthquake happened the other day. I was actually in my car, parked, waiting to go into the bagel shop, and I felt my car kind of moving a little bit like that, back and forth. And I'm like, I had something on the radio. I'm like, damn, that's a strong wind. I thought it was just one of those. And I'm like, the car's moving. And then I finished doing what I was doing in my car, and I go into the bagel place, and some older guy, did you feel that earthquake? And I said, earthquake? And he goes, yeah. He goes, you didn't feel that? I said, I felt felt like a big breeze in my car for like a minute or whatever. He goes, no, it was an earthquake. I said, are you kidding me? So he was showing me on his phone, like from the airport and everything. And I'm like, holy crap. And then everybody else that came in there was talking about the earthquake. So yeah, New Jersey, we got earthquakes now and eclipses, and aliens should be here by Friday, I think. So hope everyone's okay. I know it was different in different areas. Georgina, Christine, how's everyone doing? Laura? But yeah, it was weird. Haven't had one of those in a while. I remember years ago, I think 4 or 5 years ago, maybe longer than that. There was one, but it was kind of a little bit. People felt it here and there. But hey, Julie. But yeah, weird. Definitely weird. So I am home alone. Kind of bored. I miss having my partner in crime here with me. Yeah, shelves were shaking in packs. Yeah, I didn't even think about the mine or anything like that. Yeah, I should reach out to them. But so I was kind of bored, and um, I had the Jones to go out there and do something paranormal wise. And I'm thinking, where am I going to go? What could I do? I was going to drive up to the mine, to be honest with you. No, Timmy. Maybe when I come back on like Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe Timmy. Hey, Heather. And I'm like, I want to do something. I want to go somewhere. And I thought, the next event that we have that we're going to be announcing is July 13th at Camp Evans with just us. So I'm like, you know what? I'll go to Camp Evans. I've never been there by myself. I'll give it a shot. Empty building. So I reached out, and they were like, yeah, if you want to come, come. And hey, Karen, it's all good in theory, investigating alone. I knew I wasn't going to do it live because I knew the breakdown and setup for every floor would take me a while because it was just me. And my idea was to just start in one floor, one area, blanket the whole entire area with equipment, kind of work my way from whatever front of that area to the back of the area. But I knew that if I had done it live, finishing in one particular area, getting everything together, and then I had to carry 4 cases with me up to the next area and lay all that crap out. And I knew it would be way too long in between live to kind of try to hold the camera, carry the bags one at a time. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to film it, and then I'll edit it, because I was there for, I don't know, 3.5 hours, maybe 4. And there's a lot of time where there's nothing going on. It was pretty quiet at different times for sure. So like I said, in theory, it's exciting to go investigating on your own. Hey, Mary Ann. And but once you get in there and you realize you're alone. I met the person who let me in. It was like Ghost Adventures, kind of let me in, bring all my stuff in, and then they locked the door behind me because I couldn't have anybody, coming in while I was there. I come in this side door. Hey Harmony. So I was locked in, and I'm like, okay. I got there 7 o'clock, maybe earlier, to go there just to set everything up before it got dark. I said, you know what? I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm going to work my way up to the top. And I told them I'd be out of there by, I think, 10:30. So I knew I didn't have a lot of time. So I go in the basement first. And if you've ever been there, the basement's pretty big. And I started down there with the daylight, setting everything up. But by the time I got started, it started getting dark. And even with the daylight, the back part of the basement is really, really dark and creepy. Yes. Hello, Joanne. So I'm setting everything up and I'm putting stuff back there or whatever. And, like I said, when you're alone, your sentences are heightened. You're a little more nervous because the thought of, what if? Nobody was going to be watching me. Like when I did I did it alone at the Creeper Gallery, and I've been alone other places and I do it live. I have the, sense of security that people are watching me. And I said this to the guy, Jim, that let me in. I'm like, when I do it live and people are watching, if something were to happen to me, if I were to fall, God forbid, something were to happen, somebody get into the building, I get possessed or pulled across the floor, people are watching, they could call somebody and say, get to that building. He's fallen, something happened, get to that building. But when you're there and you're filming yourself, there's nobody there. There was nobody. And that's a big, big building. If you've never seen the Infoage building, big. So I'm in that basement. I turn the lights off. I've got this mega flashlight that Chris has two of them that can light up like an entire room. Setting up everything, and I'm ready to go. I was probably more nervous in the basement than I was anywhere, because you got to go way down in, and then you go down the stairs, and then you're kind of away. And it's like the horror movies. No one's going to hear you scream down there. So if anything happens, you're stuck. So I figure I cut it into 7 or 8 clips, however many it is. I'll go over everything with you and talk about different things that I didn't capture on camera or other things that happened. It started out really kind of like weird because I'm setting things up and I'm not filming, and I'm hearing things. I'm hearing things in the back of the basement. I'm hearing weird things around me, and I'm like, do I start filming or do I not? But I'm like, no, I'm going to wait till the lights are out, and I'm going to really do this the right way. And the plan was, again, to go from the basement, first floor, second floor, attic. I planned on covering as much of that as I could. Basement was open to me. Somebody had locked the door that leads into the first floor area where all the museums are, communication. I was really looking forward to going in there. They locked the door on me. I couldn't get in there. So then I went to the second floor. That was all open to me, and I never made it up to the attic because I spent too much time in every area. So I'll get to it, and I'll kind of, the beauty about what I'm doing now is rather than showing the entire investigation and just commenting on it as I go, I did break things down so I could play clips over. So if you don't hear the EVP the first time, I could just hit the clip again, play it again so you could hear it. And I like doing it better that way because it allows us to kind of review it and me to kind of watch it and remember what happened. So I'll start with the intro, and then we'll get into it. I just remember too, this was the day of the earthquake. Now that I think about it, because I was talking to Jim about the earthquake, and if you remember, that was the building that we were in during the tornadoes that came around. There was like 8 of them in Jersey last summer, I believe. And it's funny that I made it back to that building for after the earthquake. So we were talking about aftershocks and all that other stuff. And I was just like, no, this is a big building. So, I should be protected here. So I start out in the basement, right? And I'm getting things set up. And this is the first clip. I'm here alone. Anybody here with me? What the fuck? Okay. Naughty language there. I apologize because it startled me because I heard that no live. And I'll play it again. But this is when I just literally turned on, all the lights are off. I turned on my phone. I'm walking forward into the basement and I heard that live, which is pretty rare for a disembodied voice. So I'll play it again for you. I'm here alone. Anybody here with me? What the fuck? Naughty word again. I apologize for that. So that was kind of right off the bat. And that's what makes you even more nervous. There's, when things are going off, lights or whatever, it's not the same really as hearing loud bangs or hearing a live voice. It's nowhere near the same because when that stuff happens, it's like, for sure they're there. And hearing the voice, and now I'm alone in the basement with whoever that is and that voice. That was pretty creepy. And you heard I don't curse a lot. I mean, I do my fair share of cursing, of course, but not really on video when we're doing the live stuff. I don't really curse all that much, but that took me right away. It's like, oh man, here we go. What the F? I'm like walking 15 feet into the basement and I'm hearing a voice now. So here's clip number 2. Not only do I hear a voice say no, what I posted on here and TikTok and YouTube and all that stuff, the footsteps. I'm walking. I said I heard a sound. I asked if they could do it again. And I'm going to play this clip twice because the footsteps are in the beginning, but then I see a shadow move at the back of the basement. So listen for the footsteps. All right, I'm going to come down that way. If you don't want me to come down that way, there's lots of things on the floor between me and the back. Oh, I just saw something block out the light back there. Whoa, hold on. I'm going to play that over because that played from the middle. Here's the beginning. Whoa. Just heard something. Could you do that again? Knock on something? You hear that? I'll play it from the beginning again. I say, could you knock on something? And you hear the footsteps. Just heard something. Could you do that again? Knock on something? So right after that like I hear that live, right after I hear the no, this is a little bit afterwards. And then I'm looking back, and if you've ever been in there, if you have equipment and stuff back there, it illuminates the back a little bit if I have a REM pod and stuff back there. And there was enough to where there was a red kind of light back there. And right when I heard the footsteps, I saw something block out the light really quick. And that's where I was heading. I was going from the front of the basement where I was, the middle ish, where the cage is to the left of me, towards the back, and then there's this whole back section that goes to the left. Again, the thing that made me nervous was that I'm alone. I heard a voice. I didn't hear the no, but I heard something, and then I heard the footsteps, and now crazy me, I'm going deeper into the basement and to a side area where, again, you wouldn't know where I was. Even if you came down there and turned the basement on, the light on, and you came down the stairs and you looked straight ahead of you, you wouldn't have found me because I would have been in the back and going towards a corner. So this was kind of in my mind as I was going. But when it comes to the paranormal stuff, I kind of I live for the thrill of the experiences, especially when I'm alone. I wonder if who's ever around is going to be more inclined to engage if they know there's only one person there, and especially if that person's someone who's not normally there all the time, that doesn't work there, or isn't there a lot. So I go back towards the back of the basement, and I'm doing an EVP session. The really unique thing about this EVP is that I don't hear it on the recorder. I was asking questions, and I'm doing the play. I'm going to do the playback, and this is a live voice, disembodied voice that I capture. And I'll show you the clip, and I'll play it again. But this wasn't something I hear on playback from the microphone. This is somebody speaking that my phone captured that I had set up. So it must have been behind the phone. So, building EVP session, Camp Evans, Infoage building in the back half of the basement. Camp Evans, Infoage building. EVP session, Camp Evans, Infoage building in the back half of the basement. Hello, if anybody's here with me. So I'm going to play just the beginning of that again. It's a really quick back, but you notice I'm listening back right here to asking that question and listening for a response, and it's not on the recorder. So it was live. EVP session, Camp Evans, Infoage building in the back half of the basement. Camp Evans, half of the basement. Camp Evans, Infoage building. EVP session, Camp Evans, Infoage building in the back half of the basement. Hello, if anybody's here with me. So I thought that was really cool, and that that's part of the cool thing about reviewing for editing is that it's tedious. You're watching the whole entire investigation again, which is very, very tedious, which is why we don't set up cameras everywhere all over the place anymore, because it takes hours upon hours to review each camera at a time. But when you're doing it the way we do it, the way I was doing it, it's one camera, it's my cell phone. But I do review it because there have been many, many times that the recorder didn't hear it, but the phone did. And I think that is really, really cool. That happened to us a lot at the mine. Now, again, where was the voice in relation to where it came from? The recorder, if I'm holding it in my hand, I was sitting down. You could see where I'm on a milk crate, and I'm sitting there doing it, but my phone was across the way, which was about, I don't know, 10 feet away from me by the corner. So whoever said back was over there and close to the microphone, which again, for me, is really cool. I get a charge out of that when I hear something that I didn't hear when I was there. It's it's cool, and it's a little kind of like, whoa, man, that was somebody was there and they said that. That happens a lot with Spirit Box, and I'm going to play clips from upstairs in a while. I'm sitting there during the Spirit Box session, not hearing what's coming through a lot, and upon the review, I was like, whoa, there's some stuff being said here, because I get to listen back, and I have headphones on a lot too when I listen to the investigation. So I hear a lot of the whispers, and I hear a lot of the stuff that I don't hear live, which is really cool. So that was it for the basement. Now I head up. Chris is not here, and she's in North Carolina. She'll be there till Thursday. So now I go to the second floor. My plan was to go to the first floor. I was really looking forward to, if you've ever been to the Infoage building with us or on your own, there's a whole row of exhibit rooms. There's the shipwreck room, but there's all these communication rooms that have like real uniforms and communication devices from World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and they were used. And we get a lot of weird energy in those areas. Couldn't get back there. I'm so looking forward to it. So now I'm like, okay, lug all my stuff up to the second floor now. Second floor. The people that give us access to Camp Evans, these people were paranormal investigators at one time. I mean, they still are, but they haven't been doing it in a long time. And the woman, Gloria's office is probably one of the most active places in that building. If you've been there, you know it. If you watched the Channel 11 piece we did with Ben, you know it. I mean, somebody is in that office and in that conference room. We watched the cabinet open right up. We have it on camera with Ben right in front of us. And that hallway, I've seen a shadow figure in that hallway. Chris has definitely seen a shadow figure in that hallway. Robert and Sandra, when they were with us, saw a shadow figure in that hallway and had interaction. So again, took me time, but I sat in the middle of the hallway, and I set up stuff going all the way down one end, all the way down the other. Now, it is dark up there. I mean, dark up there. And to do your diligence, you got to kind of go one side to the other. And I wandered down the far end where it splits, and it looks like The Shining, because there's the exit lights that illuminate everything red. So I'm down there just kind of watching and looking, and nothing happened down there in the area. But again, you're by yourself. You're heightened. So this is me starting out in the hallway, second floor. Gloria's office is to my right down the hall, and down the other end is where they see shadow figures and stuff. Sitting up, and I'm already getting stuff. Second floor. Hello? Hello? Second floor Infoage building. I literally just set up. I've got stuff on either side of the hallway leading up to Gloria's office. And that REM pod was just going nuts. Of course, by Gloria's office. Hello? My name is John. I'm here alone. Gloria invited me to try to talk to you by myself. Are you by her office? That's where you usually are. I'm going to go in there. So I'm going to pause it right here. And I'm going to, before I run the Spirit Box session, I'm going to have to go back so you could hear what it's saying when it says it. But again, I have 2 domes, 2 REM pods to the left of me down the hall that I kind of space out so I cover the very far end to closer to me. Same thing going to my right. The REM pod didn't go off at all. No REM pods went off in the basement whatsoever. The only REM pod that goes off is right in front of Gloria's office. Now that factors into what's coming. So now I turn on the spirit box, and I'm going to have to go back so you can hear this because it's pretty funny. Something's laughing at me? What did you? Something's laughing at. Something's laughing at me? What did you say? Something's laughing at me? Who's laughing at you? Something's laughing at me? What did you say? Something's laughing at me? Who's laughing at you? So that was pretty cool. And when I was reviewing it, I put my headphones on and I'm like, something laughing at me? Is that what that said? And you can't, again, it's kind of hard. With headphones, it sounds so much better, so much clearer, which is, again, I miss a lot of it live, but it did. Whoever they were, they said, something's laughing at you, punk. And they called me a punk. Now, I do think it's a man, but I'm not sure, but there may be multiple spirits there. But I think whoever occupies that area of Gloria's office, I think they're, I don't know if they ever worked there. We were doing this during the Ben piece with Channel 11. They are in that area. They like that area. And they're kind of like, this is my area. They're not shy about letting you know that they're there for a reason. Now, whether it's someone who occupied that office at one time, that site has been there for a really long time. Whether it's somebody who worked there, somebody, I don't know, who knows? But that area is really active. So to hear somebody's laughing at you, punk, was like funny, but then like, okay, let's cap it at that. Because again, I'm alone and I'm like, okay, you do, there's always a chance of interaction and activity ratcheting up to a way that you've never experienced before. And again, this is my first time being alone in that building. So you never know. So that's in the back of my mind, but that was pretty cool. So now I head into Gloria's office. So I move equipment around in there. No sooner do I get in there. I believe I put the REM pod on the chair in her office, and I have stuff, again, scattered around because I know I'm heading that way. Gloria's office, and bam. As soon as I start the camera, he's in the chair like he always is. Hello? Remember me? Do you remember me? Am I not supposed to be in here? God, it's freezing in here. I have stuff in the conference room that's going off. I see it now by the cabinet that opens on its own. You can see the light on the wall there from my camera. And then I've got the REM pod going off in here. I've got domes on the couches. Are you there? Can you show yourself? Sit in that chair. Let me see you. I'm going to try to talk to you for a bit. You hear? I have a bell sitting right there as well that you can ring. I don't see you in there either. You in there? I'm going to try to hear your voice. I'm going to sit in that chair and try to talk to you. If you don't want that, make that circle light up, change colors again. Yep. Well, okay. I'll stay over here. It is so cold. So cold right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a recorder by I'm going to put a recorder over there by the chair. All right? Yeah, I see it. I'm just going to put a recorder. I'm not going to sit in the chair, but I am going to put a recorder there so I can hear your voice. I'd like to be able to hear what you're saying. Could you step away from that? Step away from that, please. Okay, thank you. Not light up anymore, huh? What happened? I came over there and you left? I'll get my recorder back. That REM pod hasn't gone off since. Not light up anymore, huh? Now listen real close. This again, no recorder. This is captured on my phone. When I said, what happened? You're not lighting up that REM pod anymore? You know, somebody says thinking, and it's a whisper. They go, thinking. Now I'm going to play it a few times so you can hear it. That's why I paused it right there, and I'm going to go back. Thinking. It was, again, I didn't hear this until I went over the review and I had my headphones on, and somebody literally said to me, I asked why they stopped touching the REM pod, and they said thinking. What happened? I came over there and you left? I'll get my recorder back. That REM pod hasn't gone off since. All right. I'll get my recorder back. That REM pod hasn't gone off since. I'll get my recorder back. That REM pod hasn't gone off since. All right, I'm going to try to listen back here while I sit on the couch. So again, I love that when there's evidence that you don't see or know is happening in real time, and you all of a sudden are listening with the headphones on, and it's such a thrill to be like, whoa, wait a minute. Did someone just say something there? And play it back again. And they are saying thinking. Now, again, what I can't stress enough is that you're in a building I'm there by myself. There's nobody else anywhere near the building. There's gates that you need to go in that they shut to even get in the lot where I'm at, and the gates are shut. Nobody's there. To hear that voice, this is again afterwards, and knowing in the basement. Now, was it the same person who followed me up? Maybe. Who said back? Maybe. But I think there's somebody different up there. To hear that voice now that I'm home and I'm listening is like, wow, I didn't have the recorder running. If I'd have known, I'd have stayed right where I was, and I'd have asked more questions and try to figure out who that is. But that was so cool to go back and hear that, stop it, rewind it, and play it again, to know that they were literally saying thinking. Like, what were they thinking about? Like I said, did you stop that now because I walked over there? Were they thinking about, like, again, why am I here? What they were going to do? It's just, I wish there were so many more questions I could ask in that moment, but very, very cool EVP. So now I try. Um, this is another clip. Again, I'm sitting on the couch now, listening back to my EVP recording after the REM pod had stopped. And lo and behold, he's going to let me know he's still there. All right, here we go. I hit record. See that? I'm backing up. Tell me your name. Who are you? I didn't realize the bell went off, and now the REM pod's going off again. Why do you stay in this office? I didn't realize the bell was going off. If you want me to leave, tell me to leave or get out. That didn't go off the whole entire time I was asking questions. Look at that. It's really cold in here. Really cold in here. What's the name of the woman who sits in that chair now? Do you hear the thump thump? Wow. That was thump thump. Where'd that come from? So again, what's really cool about that, and this is why I never made it up to the attic, because I went in that office and I was there for a good long time. I love the validation, when it kind of piles onto each other. In that segment alone, where I was there for, I don't know, hour in that room maybe, the thump I'm talking about, you would need headphones to hear it. I first heard it in the hallway. And then when I was in the room, it sounded like someone boop, boop on the wall. So I had the thump, I had the voice saying thinking. And then the cool thing is that equipment could go off for a variety of reasons. The fact that you get the REM pod in the chair, beep, 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 when it wasn't going off during that whole EVP question set, along with the bell, ding, ding. It's like someone standing there with their hand over the antenna and ding, ding, hitting the bell at the same time. That is cool as hell. When you're in the room and that crap is happening, your mind is on, okay, if something goes flying off the wall or a shadow figure comes from that room, there's a door down the hall, the stairs, and I could make it out of there pretty quickly if I had to. Chris isn't the only one who can run if she needs to. But it's going on, and part of you was like, wow, this is really cool. Where's this going to go? How much am I going to get out of this? And another part of you was like, well, really freaky stuff starts happening, and stuff starts moving, or a shadow figure, or that door shuts over there by the conference room, then my equipment stays and I go. So that was a really cool kind of interaction there. So now I turn on the spirit box, and this is one that we're probably going to have to kind of go back, because hearing this with the headphones was so much better. This is what I mean about missing things live, because I had my headphones on and I'm listening and I'm hearing stuff and I'm like, crap, I didn't hear that live. And I hear something else, I didn't hear that either. So I'm not sure how it's going to play over the speakers. Headphones are much better for this, but I'm going to go back and play this again. So hopefully you'll see where the words are and you'll know the spots. And then when we go back a second time, hopefully you'll be able to hear it if you really, really listen. But this is a pretty good session. Here's the thing. the one time when I was in there, and I'm showing these out of order because the next clip is in the conference room, I mentioned something about heaven. I asked the question now from anywhere that I'm at, you know, does heaven exist, or is it possible for us to go somewhere else after we pass and come back? That seemed to touch a nerve with whoever this is. So that factors into this spirit box session. I'm just going to ask questions. So right off the bat, I'm told to stop. And repeat what I hear. Look out. So again, not something I heard sitting there live. Said, look out, we're hurt, and then stop. I'm going to go back to the beginning again. Again, really hard to hear, though, unless you have headphones. Questions and repeat what I hear. Oh, C word. Tell me who you are and why you're here. What is your name? I'm not leaving. I'm here in the dark. It sounded like I said Gentleman John. Raymond? Who was that? Tell me about you. I want to know about you. What happened to you? You seem to get mad when I mention heaven. Why is that? I'm staying here. I'm not going anywhere. So I'm going to play that again because there's a really cool sequence there where I mention heaven and he says it's pertinent, meaning, it's relevant to, him or whoever it is. And then they mention evidence. And then they say, again, with headphones, you hear really clearly, they say, we'll come out to show you. And again, I heard this all upon review. I didn't hear it live. I probably should wear the headphones when I'm doing, but I was doing, you saw, I went from regular spirit box to S-Day. I was blindfolded and I had the headphones on, which is probably dumb, but it's a really cool sequence there. It was some saying that they were hurt to help us, and then they transitioned to a lot of different things. So I'm going to play it again, look for the words, listen to the sounds, and I'm just going to ask questions and repeat what I hear. Oh, C word. Tell me who you are and why you're here. C word. So I did hear a bad word, but listening to this sequence here in the room, it sounded like somebody was agonized pain. You hear, and then you hear someone go, like grunt. Listen to this. Tell me who you are and why you're here. What is your name? So that grunt, that agonizing followed by I'm hurt, help us. That was pretty cool. I'm not leaving. I'm here in the dark. It sounded like I said Gentleman John. Raymond? Who was that? Tell me about you. I want to know about you. What happened to you? You seem to get mad when I mention heaven. Why is that? I'm staying here. I'm not going anywhere. Again, really, really, really cool to listen back to the whole investigation and then see the building blocks there to now take with us into the next time we're there. And again, I told you guys that the tickets are on sale for I'll post the ad for Camp Evans July 13th. We're going to be there with just us. But we go to all those areas that I'm showing you here. We're going to investigate every one of those areas. And I know that Chris is usually up on the second floor doing stuff there. And now she has that room that we all know is active. Kenny usually is in the basement. I'm usually up in the attic where I didn't get a chance to get to. Maybe the next time I'll get up there because that's an active place too. In the attic, I've interacted with a little girl and a foul-mouthed gentleman who, every now and then he, says some stuff too. So I wanted to get up there so bad, but I was running out of time and I had to collect all my stuff and pack it up before they came to, that second floor, I would have loved to have done the first floor because that's active as well. But this is basically 2 floors that I'm showing you out of 4. And that's why Channel 11 came in there and had such a great time because that building is just, John Zaffis loves that building because he's had activity every time he's been there. So again, July 13th, if you want to come join us, that's the next event we're doing with tickets available. Just shoot me a message, NewJerseyParanormal@yahoo.com. And again, you could be part of that. I asked in the hallway if the person, there's picture was on the wall. I asked the same thing. Answered what Chris thought was, what is that? Do it? But after I found a picture on the wall, do it. I asked the same exact question. And I believe I got a reaction. It's not here, but I got a reaction of equipment going off when I said, is your picture on that wall? Is there a name I could look up? And something went off. A couple of things went off. So maybe. So this is the last clip here that I'm going to show you guys. This is actually now, it's a big room. That Gloria's office has her office when you walk through the door. To the left, there's a conference room. That's the room when Ben was there that we had some activity. There's a cabinet in there. I would have showed you if it opened. I was trying to get it to open. I kept filming it. I kept looking at it. I kept zooming in on it. It's a cabinet where there's 2 latches on the top of it where it's one of those you have to push in to pop out, those kind of things. And when you push in, it latches and locks down. But if you push it in, the latch comes up and it pops out. So it takes a good push for that thing to open. If go back and watch the segment Ben did with us, it's on our page somewhere. That thing pushes open right in front of him and he won't go in that room. So this is where the last clip where I finish up, I'm in the conference room. I heard that loud thumping sound. Not sure where it was coming from. Could you do that again? Maybe knock on one of these wood walls or on that cabinet. Here, I'll knock first. I got to stop it because now I remember what happened here. Listen real close, real close. If you have headphones, great. If you don't, just turn your volume up. I do that. Dum, dum, dum. There's a double knock after I do it. Dum, dum. So you got to listen real close. Now I remember why I left this on here. All right, here we go. I heard that loud thumping sound. Not sure where it was coming from. Could you do that again? Maybe knock on one of these wood walls or on that cabinet. Here, I'll knock first. Right there. Do you hear it? Here, I'll knock first. It's tap, tap. Hear it? Do you hear it? It's tick, tick. It's a double tap. Have you gone to heaven and come back? Here's how I finished the night. And you got to know when you got to go if you're a paranormal investigator. I'm going to play back this a few times so you can hear it. Headphones, of course, are better. But I'll play it, tell you, you'll see what it says, and then I'll play it again. Is that possible? They say that we see our entire life and that we're judged when we die. They say that we see our entire life and that we're judged when we die. Is that judged when we... Oh, I just heard get out. Get out, right there. Get out. Get out. Oh, it said it again. See our entire life God. And that we're entire life. Get out. Oh, it said it again. See our entire life God. And that we're entire life. Get out. Oh, it said it again. We see our entire life God. And that we're entire life. Said it twice. Get out. Get out. Say that we see our entire life. Again, what's cool about that is that, again, in the moment, you're like, wow, this is again somebody talking again right within the microphone, which is laying on the table, telling me, get out. And then, all that stuff that happened before, that was kind of the last thing. And then I, turned the lights on and stuff. But there is a feeling of, you hear an EVP like that or something like that, you hear the knocking and all that other stuff. And again, I'm alone. So I have to go find the lights. And you always feel better after investigating alone, especially if stuff is happening, if you can find a light and make the room bright, which in theory, this shouldn't make a difference because if a spirit's there and they want to do some stuff, they'll do it with the lights on too, I guess. But you turn the lights on, you're like, whew, you gather up your equipment, but then you got to find every other light switch and walk down dark hallways because the light switch to the hallway is turned towards the middle. So after I hear get out, I'm like, all right, here I am, my flashlight. Bum, 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 bum. So pretty cool, pretty active. Again, that was 3.5 hours worth or more. And I just show you the clips where stuff happens. There are long periods of time where there's nothing happen. And that's part of just doing research and investigating. It's not always going to be like that every minute of an investigation. Just not going to happen. I will go back maybe before Chris is back and maybe do the first floor area that I couldn't get access to in the attic. If not, I'll go back and, at some point, go back and do those two areas. But do I recommend investigating alone? If you know what you're doing and you're a little nutty like I am, then yes, but have backup. Those people knew I was there. So if something had happened, whether it was I fell or something else, they were coming back at a certain time, no matter what. So if you're going to go out there and investigate places alone, just, make sure somebody knows where you are. Make sure you have a backup plan. If something does happen, somebody's watching your back or someone knows to call you or whatever. But it's such a charge. Everything seems good. And I told Chris this before I went there. I'm like, everything seems so good in theory. I was excited to be going there by myself. I was bored. I wanted to get out. It'd been a while since I'd done anything. And I'm like, I'm just going to go there. I'm going to do it alone. Great in theory. But when you're down in the basement and you realize how far you are from the nearest door to get out of there, and you turn the lights out, there is a moment where your brain goes, what are you doing? Really, what are you doing? You have nobody here with you. So if, the ceiling crashes down and there's another earthquake or you trip and fall over something, or God forbid things start going flying and something attacks you, you're here by yourself, dummy. And that's a little part of my brain. The other part is much bigger that goes, all right, this could be really, really cool. Let's do this, So that's it, guys. Thanks for joining me. Hope you didn't mind the clips and the review and going everything that way and not watching the full investigation. I know you guys do like watching live, and we'll get back to doing that soon. The four of us where we're just in a building and we're letting it roll. But I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed sharing it with you guys. And like I said, July 13th, Camp Evans, the Infoage building that you just saw, tickets are on sale right now for that event. The only event that we have tickets available for, John Zaffis at the Mine, completely sold out. So no longer available. So email me, NewJerseyParanormal@yahoo.com. New Jersey is one word, NewJerseyParanormal@yahoo.com. And I'll see you guys probably Tuesday night. All right. Have a good night, everyone.